All right, hello there, people of the internet. My name is Jagero, and this is Dialogues with Jagero. I want to wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas. This episode is sponsored. You know, Aliet, I'm now having sponsors, eh?
Oh,
this
okay.
episode.
Oh, you have sponsors?
Yeah. So this podcast is sponsored by. I have been trying to get things. I've been trying to get things from the United States, and there is this company called Titan Impex Cargo, which is a very, very good one. I used to use others that I don't know what happened. They went by the roadside. But these days I use Titan Impex Cargo, which is a very, very good company. So if you want to be getting things from the United States, if you are living in the United States and you want to bring your things over here in Kenya, you can always use them. If you've seen something on Amazon, on Best Buy, or anywhere else that is cheaper in price than in Kenya, you can always use Titan Impex Cargo. And their shipping is very good. They do sea freight, and they also do air freight. So thank you very much. Today I'm having Dr. Aliet. When are you still? By the way, are you learned?
Oh, by the way, I'm very learned. I'm very learned.
Yeah.
But I prefer to say that I'm a man of great intellect. I learned recently that intellect is not the same as IQ. IQ refers to the speed of processing, how you process information and understanding. But intellect refers to your interest in subjects and in knowledge. So I'm a man of great intellect. I'm interested in a lot of subjects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the main one is women and men.
Currently, yes. But my Unplugged 4 is about religion. So I'm talking about archaeology, history, paleontology.
Yeah.
I'm even looking at quantum physics because I'm looking at how the universe came to be, why we are here, and how we came to be here. So it's a broad, and I think it's the first book of its kind that I'll be writing.
Yeah. When you talk about religion, what then do you think about the earth, the world as we know it? What is going on wrong with it? What is right with it? Do you think that religion has saved the world?
Religion has its good sides and its bad sides. Many people are killed because of religion. Religion has also held back science because of superstition and so on and so forth. But religion has also brought a lot of good things. You know, just teaching people about morality, kindness, forgiveness, things like that. So it has its good side and its bad sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2023, 2024 has seen a lot of Manosphere. Like a lot of men have come out and said that, look, we have been having a bad deal. We have not been, we are not being appreciated enough. Do you think that since Manosphere started, I don't know whether that's the word that we should use for this, the whole campaign, should I call it for lack of a better word, to make men better people in the world, do you think that the work that you are doing and people like Nchwani and people like, by the way, do you group yourself in the same basket as Americs?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you think that the work that you've been doing has been helping us with anything?
Yeah, it has been very beneficial, and it has not just only helped men. It has also helped women because if you look at the reviews of Unplugged, there are women who say that Unplugged had saved their marriage. There are women who are planning to leave their husbands, but someone told them, "Why don't you let him read Unplugged?" The man reads Unplugged, his behavior changes, and the woman decides, "Okay, fine, let me just stay." So those cases are there. There are guys who are suffering from depression and taking antidepressants. They read Unplugged and they stop taking the drugs because they realize what the problem is. There are people who are struggling with their finances. They read Unplugged, they shape up, and they're okay. So absolutely, it is helping a lot.
If you are given 2 minutes, 3 minutes to talk about the nature of men and the nature of women and the difference therein, what would you say is the reason why? Because right now, I know a lot of my friends who are saying, fuck it, I don't want to date women anymore. And the women are also saying, what does a man bring to the table if he doesn't have the money? What is your What would you say about a man and about a woman in 2023, 2024, 2025?
I think it's okay for women to want men to bring something to the table. I think that is fine. The only problem normally is the conversation does not talk about what the woman is bringing to the table. Most of those women have slept with so many men. They have no value in terms of beauty, in terms of morality. They cannot submit. So the man will bring the money, but the person is going to live with is a terrorist. So it doesn't make sense. So because men also want a value in return, okay? Whether it is submission, loyalty, and so on. Many women today cannot be loyal. They cannot submit. They cannot cook. They cannot clean. And they also don't want to use their money. They are working their career women, but they don't want to use their money. They'll say his money is ours, but my money is mine. So that is a challenge. It's just about, relationships should be about exchange of value. Can you give birth? Can you be loyal to this man? Can you submit to him? The money you are making, can you help him to build a better life? Because many women are in relationships. It is closed on his end, but it is open on her end. She's posting thirst traps on social media, Instagram, entertaining men in their DM and so on. And when there's any sign of trouble, they leave and so on and so forth. So that is a problem. But otherwise, once people just recognize and are honest that this is what I bring and this is what you bring, I think we can still have good relationships. Yeah.
How about men?
Men, I think for the most part, the way men are wired, we are hardwired to want to spread our seeds. And because of that, men will always be looking for women. And you will always find women who are saying, I don't need a man. You'll hardly find a man saying that I don't need a woman. A man can say maybe women are hoes, they are not loyal, but they not say they don't need them. They'll complain about them, but they won't say they don't need them. So men are locked in terms of wanting to have relationships with women. The challenge men are having now is the kind of women we're having now in terms of long-term relationships and the way marriage is structured. The marital contract in terms of law, it does not favor men. That is the challenge that we are having. But men are very invested in relationships with women.
Somebody said that women used to do just fine sometimes back. But right now you see a lot of women who are constantly complaining about men. We see women that are not able to get into marriage. What would you say is the difference between that woman, yule wa kitambo, and the man and the woman now?
There's a big difference. First of all, the women who are complaining are post-wall women. You know what the wall is?
No. What is a post-wall woman?
A post-wall woman is a woman who has hit the wall. Now, the wall is basically the point at which a woman loses her sexual marketplace value. It starts declining. Yeah, for many women, it is from the age of 30, 29, 30 thereabouts. And at that age, her sexual marketplace value declines. She can no longer compete with the young women, 23-year-olds, 25-year-olds. Okay? So those are the women who complain. There are no more good men left and so on. But what you'll also notice, when they're complaining like that, they are overlooking average men, or they simply cannot compete with the younger women. So that is number one. Now, the difference between the modern women and the women of those days, our parents and our ancestors, a number of those women used to get married when they are young, when they are virgins, when they respect men, the authority of a man. The current woman has been taught to be a worker. She's not a wife. So she doesn't know how to submit. She doesn't know how to cook. She doesn't know how to clean. She's not domesticated. She's like a wild animal that you're trying to domesticate. So the men are trying to rein them in, but these women have been taught to be independent. They've been taught you are just as good as a man or better than him, and so on. But a few hundred years ago, these women were taught that the man is the one that is superior. The man is the one who is in charge. The Bible says that the man is the head and the woman is like the neck. So they understand the man should have the vision, should be hearing things, should be smelling opportunities, and is the one who is going to supposed to be speak. Even the blessing, they say it's your father who can bless you. So the women at that time recognize that. Nowadays, women don't recognize that. They feel that you need to be equal partners in a marriage and so on and so forth. So that's the difference that we have. And then, of course, on average, of course, the current women, they are bigger. Those women used to be much, much more fit. Nowadays, because of diet and lifestyle, the women today, they are much bigger. They are not as fit as those other ladies. And then, of course, that also comes with challenges to do with birth and being able to perform duties around the household. They cannot move as quickly as possible and so on. Yes.
Okay. But then it seems that we are not coming to an agreement about the role of a woman and the role of a man. You see, some people say that women want their cake and they want to eat it all at the same time.
Yes.
They keep changing. Like today they're saying this, but then when this happens, why is it that, for example, if you look at equality, why is it that the equality is only on some issues? So, for example, when you come for a meal, a woman who don't want to pay, but then on the other side, they talk about equality. But sometimes they also say that my equality does not mean that I pay bills.
Yes.
My equality does not mean that I'm the one who takes the, whatever is supposed to be happening. Do you think it is double standard? Do you think that...
Yeah, of course it's a double standard. I think I have a whole chapter in Unplugged 3 about how the double standards that women have.
Yeah.
What we normally say is that the modern woman wants the privileges of the traditional woman without the responsibilities of the traditional woman. So she wants to enjoy the privileges, but she cannot take responsibilities. She cannot be loyal. She cannot be submissive. She cannot be supportive. But at the same time, she wants the privileges that come with those particular roles. So that is a challenge. And then you see, even when it comes to equality in the workplace, when women say they want equal opportunities with men, they mean the top positions. They don't want to clean toilets like men. They don't want to do dangerous jobs like men. They only want the cushy jobs, management positions, and so on. That's why you find so many women in HR and so on. But you're not going to find them complaining that why do you employ so many plumbers? We also want to be plumbers. You won't find women complaining that these bricklayers or the masons, why are they only men? We also want these jobs. So you see, that's a double standard. They only want the side of the bread that is buttered. But you see, men don't have such privileges. Yeah. Men have to take these dangerous jobs, and men keep dying in the line of duty and so on. So it's a contradiction, and hopefully women will be able to see it and accept it. Some women do, of course. Increasingly, we find many women also saying that they were misled by feminism, and they are willing and able to submit and play traditional roles of a woman. This is happening even in the West right now.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Why? How are they doing it right now?
Oh, they're just saying publicly that, me, I'm tired. I don't want to work anymore. I want to be a housewife. I'm willing to submit to any man who can take care of me. I'm tired of being a man. There are women who are saying that.
What do you think being tired of being a man means?
It means they're tired of the pressure that comes with the workplace, the performance targets, submitting reports with whatever regularity, whether it's weekly reports, reporting to a particular person every day, waking up at a particular time, sometimes working late hours, and then you also have to be a mother, taking care of your children, taking care of your family, and so on. Some women would rather just play that traditional role of being a homemaker or being a mother and taking care of your husband. Yeah, so many women feel that being in the workplace is not helping them. It makes you older, it makes you more stressed, and it's just an additional work on you that is not helping you. If you can find a man who can do that extra work for you, then you should be able just to enjoy a good life as a woman. You see, the reality is women are not built for this. Men have more stamina. Even the reason women seem to grow older than us is because we have more collagen on our skin than women. Men have tougher skins. Men were basically built for burden, for work. And that's why the Kevin Samuel said that pressure was built for shoulders, not for hips. Women have wider hips. It's for childbirth. They're supposed to help us to multiply. But now, the white women who are privileged, who are sitting at home with servants all over the place, they're the ones who felt now we also need to work. But it's something that actually women are not built for.
Hips are for childbirth?
Yes. the pressure is, our wide shoulders are supposed to take up the pressure. Even in terms of, you can see even in terms of mind games like chess, you can see men dominate those games compared to women. And even in all spheres of sport. It's because men are built for performance. Women are built for nurturing. And that's why women are very good at communication, at having empathy and compassion, because they need to be able to connect the children to understand what is the child going through so that they can be able to understand them and take care of them. So women actually fine-tuned for that. But by putting women in the workplace, we're actually forcing them to do what they are not built to do. Maybe it will take a few hundred years and women will gradually, because of evolution, they'll probably gradually move towards being like men. But right now, many women are struggling. Many women are taking antidepressants. They're taking alcohol, the ones who are single. And you find even women who have these surrogate husbands. Most single women, you'll find they're keeping dogs, okay? They're keeping cats and so on, because they have this instinct within them to nurture something. So where they don't have a family, they create a surrogate. That's why you see them taking those dogs on walks, Kilimani and so on. In the evening, they're walking with their dogs and so on.
Because they should be having children.
Yeah, they should be having children, yes.
They should be having husbands that they're not having.
Yeah, so it's a substitute. They're just trying to take care of how they feel. But at the same time, also, those women are also very frustrated. You find over the weekend, they go out with their friends, they're drinking a lot of alcohol. I've seen cases, even in where I live, where there was a time I found a vehicle that was stranded. And when we stopped to check, there was a woman behind the wheel. She was like 200 meters from the estate. But she was literally blacking out. She's drunk. She has urinated on herself. But she's saying she cannot drive. She just wants someone to help her to put that car in the estate and put it in the parking slot. So they're really struggling to fit into this modern environment that forces them to be career women, to deal with the pressures of the workplace, and they're separated from their men.
Some women say that they are feeling good about it, that they are loving it.
Yeah.
Or are they lying to us?
Those are most of those women are women probably who are in their 30s and 40s.
Okay.
Women who are in their 50s have a different story to tell, who have gone through the entire cycle of being a single woman, career woman, and then in the end. Because you see, women, unlike men, the way we have acculturated, we measure our success using things. A vehicle, a house, money, and so on. Most women, at least later on in life, they measure their success based on relationships. The children you have around you. Do you have a husband? Do you have grandchildren? And so on. Many women who end up rich and without children, they end up feeling very empty, particularly in old age. So when they are still young, of course, they are distracted. They are traveling, they are drinking the best wines, they are going for the spas and salon and so on. And they've been taught that is what happiness is. But later on, when they are reflecting and when all the distractions are away from them, then they start reflecting and they realize this is an empty life. Yeah.
In your book, you talk so much about the beauty of female nature. For people who don't understand this, what do you mean by the beauty of female nature?
Yeah, so the reason I start with the beauty of female nature is because when you look at female nature in life, okay, a lot of it is very negative. So I start with the beauty, okay, so that the entire thing is not cast in black and so on. So the beauty of female nature is when you find a woman who is in love with you, who is loyal, they can be very loyal. We normally talk about a woman being so loyal that when you've murdered someone and you have the dead body, she's going to help you to dig a grave to bury this body. Okay, a woman is that loyal. Instead of telling you now, why did you kill someone? Oh no, you are a murderer and so on. When a woman is loyal and in love, she can do that for you. She can actually give her life for you. So loyalty in women can be very good, and the women can also be very good parents. They commit themselves to their children. They can be very protective, very nurturing. So when you look at that, those are some of the beautiful things about women. They can be very supportive. They can make very good parents, and they can also be very, very loyal. Yeah.
But then, how does that play into relationships?
Yeah, that it also means now as a man who wants to raise your offspring or your children, a woman can be a very good parent or co-parent for that matter. Even in terms of domestic spaces, women are very good at, getting the sense of balance, of color, making sure that things are clean and in order. They are very good at that. We call it nesting, actually. Women have what we call the nesting instinct, which most men don't have.
What is a nesting instinct?
A nesting instinct is basically what makes a woman want an environment that is comfortable, both for herself and for the people around her. And you'll find, like, for example, a man can be very comfortable with very basic and bare furniture, for example. But a woman will want to keep changing that furniture. She'll want to bring a sofa set here. She wants to bring a cushion here, a yellow color, red color. A man doesn't care. And then a woman will keep changing this environment. That is a nesting instinct. Sometimes it happens when they are pregnant, and sometimes it just depends on their ovulatory cycle. Most men are often not very keen on such. So in a sense, they bring beauty to your environment, the places where we live in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that a lot of, I think people that hate Aliet, sometimes I don't know whether they understand Aliet or they take you for at face value, or they don't read your stuff. For example, when you talk about the dark aspects of the female nature, somebody would be like, that is dramatic and very negative. Yeah. What do you mean by the dark aspect of a female nature?
Actually, the reason I have that is because when you are growing up as men, remember, this is things our fathers did not tell us.
Yeah.
We grow up thinking that women are these beautiful creatures that have long hair, they smell nice, and they are very compassionate. But many men, when they grow up and now get into marriage or relationships with women, that's when they discover too late that these people are not what you thought they were. So that is just to tell men that this is who women are. We've covered the beautiful aspects, and then there are also the dark aspects of female nature. And a lot of it, you see it in the lower animals, but you also see it in the higher animals, that is human beings. You see, for example, if you look at the praying mantis, the female bites off the head of the male after mating. If you look at the black widow spider, it also eats the male after mating. Octopuses also do that. The female eats the male after mating. In other words, a lot of these animals, they only mate once. Every time you mate, you die. And you're dying because the female is killing you. There is also a species of python that does that. It kills the male after mating. And we see something similar right now. Because right now, this is for the first time, because of female emancipation, we are seeing female nature in an unfettered environment for the first time. Many women today, they end their marriages after they've had children. And if you look at the examples I just mentioned, the females don't see the need of the male after harvesting the seed from them. So you'll find the same case where once women have had children with the men, they initiate divorce because they have their money, they have the protection from the state. They feel now you're just dead weight. And that's one of the reasons why I tell men that they have to commit themselves to self-improvement perpetually so that your wife or your woman sees you as an asset, not as a liability. Because many women, when they start seeing you as a liability, they terminate that relationship, even if the kids are involved. Yeah, so those are some of the aspects of female nature that men need to understand. Men need to understand that women are very practical. And women make practical decisions, and they are not stopped by romantic ideals. Like, I love this man, we came from far and so on. They don't care about how far you've come.
To the contrary, that is what we have believed for a long time. That women are very compassionate.
Yeah.
They will love you.
Yes.
They will go to the ends of the world with you.
Yes, that's what we actually taught. But it is true at the moment when she's in love.
Okay.
When a woman is in love, remember what I said earlier, they're very loyal. They can help you to bury a body you've killed. Okay, they can help you to commit a crime. But that does not last very long. Okay? And you see, when it comes to compassion, we say that women are compassionate. But women also want to kill children.
Yeah.
Okay? That's why women want abortion rights. They want the right to abort children. Okay? So it tells you how cold women can also be. And when it comes to abortion rights, normally, of course, it's presented that they're talking about what they call emergency abortion, where you have to save the life of the infant or the mother. But 99% of abortions are elective, where the mother and the child are not in danger. So it's because of what we call hypogamy. You will not find a woman aborting the child of a president or a prince or a king. It's normally an average man or a man who is poor and so on. So where hypogamy comes in, then women will not want anything to stop them from optimizing their hypogamy. And that's why we want abortion rights. Okay, you know, we normally say that abortion is basically a fail-safe for hypogamy that has failed. Like if she picks the wrong guy, okay? She sleeps with the wrong guy makes her pregnant, and she realizes this guy cannot make a long-term prospect, does not have good long-term prospects for as a husband or as a mate. She aborts the child. Yeah, so that in that sense, hypogamy is a fail-safe measure for failed hypogamy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What for the members of the audience, so for the people in the Manosphere that do not understand what hypogamy is, do you want to clarify what hypogamy is?
Yeah,
Why it's been mentioned several times?
Yes.
Yeah.
So hypogamy is the female sexual strategy, and it is dualistic. What it normally is it's the tendency of women to marry across and upward social hierarchies. So that means a woman will want to marry a man who is from a higher class than her, a man who is taller than her, a man who is stronger than her, a man who is richer than her, a man who is more educated than her, a man who is more intelligent than her. So in general, a woman will want to have that man to be able to protect her, to also have his children, because women also want to have children who have those same features, children who can also take care of them. So that is what hypogamy is. And women try to do that at all costs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it also means that is why many women will want to dissolve their marriages when the man is no longer able to provide for the family and so on because of hypogamy.
So they no longer, when a woman's love wears thin, everything that is dead weight is put aside.
Yes. Women are practicalists. But it's also important, and I think you explained it in the book.
Is that a more political word of saying that women are ruthless?
Yeah, in general. You know, we normally say that you cannot be just and merciful at the same time. Justice is ruthless. But you see, it's not a bad thing. That's what I try to tell guys. Women being hypogamous is not a bad thing. Because you see, nature charged women with the responsibility of taking care of children, at least in the early years. These children have to breastfeed. They have to take care of these children. So because of that, women are forced to make practical decisions. If you are a man and you cannot protect or provide for her, she has to junk you so that she can be able to take care of these children. So she has to be paired with a man who can meet her survival imperatives. And that is why women make practical decisions. Romance is something that men are the ones who invented. And many times when women are romantic, they are just speaking the language of men. In most cases, and we are encouraging men to do this, women treat relationships the way men treat jobs. When you get a job and you're well paid, men keep those jobs. When you get a job but you're not being well paid, you're being frustrated, you look for another job and you resign. So many women also treat relationships the same way. When a relationship does not serve them, they leave. And that's why they have relationship goals. Most men don't have relationship goals. When a man gets a woman, he settles down. And even when the relationship is frustrating him, he doesn't leave. He can get a side chick and so on, but he will not leave the relationship. But when women get frustrated, they leave the relationships because they believe you can always get a better relationship based on their hypogamy.
You say that women are love of chaos, but I'm going to ask you about that after I have asked this question. You say that women will always leave something that will serve them. But we also see a lot of men that, or is it different that men go for young girls when they're maintaining the wife, or they let the wife go and have this young girl, young woman? Is it the same thing? Is it do men also treat women as dead weight?
No, actually, you see, the biological imperative of a man is to spread his seeds. So for men, the more women you have, the better. So you'll find that's why the man will want to keep the side chick and his wife. You will not find a case where a man has a side chick and now he wants to leave his wife, unless either the side chick is instigating it or the wife is really terrible. But most men would rather keep both of them because both of them, at least they're able to bear children for him. So biologically, the man is wired to just keep them. They can even they can be poorly behaved, but so long as they can have children, the man will try to keep them. Yeah.
Do you believe in polygamy?
Polygamy is not a belief; it's a practice. I don't practice polygamy, and I think there are certain men who are built for it. I grew up in a polygamous household, and it was very rough. I did not like it. I don't think it's something I'd want to do. But I've seen men who are thriving under it. So I think people are just different. For me, what I saw, I don't think it's something that I would enjoy and or I'll be part of.
What is your moral opinion of it?
I don't think it's immoral. I think it's fine. No issue. If I could do it, I could do it. But I think that the things I want for myself, like in terms of what I want to accomplish as an author, as an intellectual, managing multiple women would not go well with that. It drains your energy. It's too much work. I think it's too much work.
Do you want to say that having a woman around is a lot of work?
It is a lot of work. Absolutely.
What kind of work is it?
It's a lot of work because women need attention. And it also still comes back to the chaos I was telling you about. You could be doing something maybe out.
Maybe now you can explain it.
Yeah.
With the women love chaos.
Yeah, women get bored very quickly, and that's why even men also came up with the idea of romance. They want to be shown the world. They want to be entertained. Take her out for drinks. It's almost like a dog. You remember, if you're keeping a dog like a pet, you need to take it out for walks. Otherwise, it will scratch all the furniture and tear everything down.
Yeah.
Women are in a sense like that. If you keep her in the house for too long, she's going to get bored and restless. So you have to take her out, take her for dinner, romance her, maybe buy her gifts, take her to travel and so on. Listen to her, She'll want to tell you about her frustrations with her mother, her sisters, her friends. Just entertain her. And that takes a lot of work. Most of the times, maybe the things they tell you about, you even don't care about them. They'll tell you, oh, Caro said this, so-and-so is saying this, so-and-so posted this on social media, things you don't care about. But you have to listen. If you don't listen, they'll say you don't care about me, you don't even care about what I'm saying, and so on. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Now imagine you have two women. You have to now balance your time between the two of them. They want attention. They want romance. And of course, they have their needs, whether it is a salon, whether it is food, clothes, and so on. So I think it's a lot of work because women need attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. You cannot just keep her in a house, furnish it, make sure she has food, and walk away. No, you also have to be there. You see, that's the problem.
That's why if you just do everything for them and still move away, then they will follow you.
Yes, ama utagongewa, as we now put it in Kenya. A gonga will show up. So that is a challenge. And I think also most of these polygamous men, it was not uncommon to have some of the kids who are raising were not even theirs. Some knew, some didn't, but it was not uncommon.
By the way, what do you think about men raising other men's children?
Being a stepfather.
Yeah.
You have to be... I think the important thing is you need to know the pitfalls of being a stepfather.
What are the pitfalls of being a stepfather?
There are very many. I don't know if I can count them, but I'll give you some.
Give me five.
If you have children, probably it's not bad if you're talking about a blended family. But if you are a single man, it will be a very bad idea to become a stepfather.
What do you mean? What do you mean a single man?
A man who is childless. A man who is childless.
The only child you're having is your stepson.
Yes.
Is your stepchild.
Yeah, that will be a mistake. And then
why?
I even know, by the way, now that you've reminded me, I know of so many cases. This guy has talked to me. I know of a guy who, for some reason, he was sterile. He's not able to have his children. He met this woman, they fell in love. She had 2 children. And so this guy said, fine, let's raise your children. We have a good relationship going on. Let's raise your children. So they started raising these kids. Kidogo kidogo, the other guy has come back. This guy is invested in these children. He has spent money paying school fees, nini. This woman starts disappearing. He was in fact, he wanted to commit suicide. I had to tell him that he should just let her go. So there are also challenges I've seen For example, we have cases where a man marries a woman. She has these children. Then now you have children with her. Now you really need to know who your predecessor is, because I've seen cases where this woman loves the other guy's children more than your children. Like they are now the children of the alpha. We have what we call alpha widow, which is a phenomenon women have. When a
Alpha
woman,
widow.
alpha widow,
What is an alpha widow?
an alpha widow is a woman.
You have been cooking terms.
Yeah. It's not cooking. These are terms that are there. An alpha widow is a woman who has been left by a man who she really loved. Now that guy is the alpha.
Oh, I see.
You see, for example, Jada Pinkett and Tupac Shakur.
Okay.
So Jada is Tupac's alpha widow, and that's why she can never be happy with Will Smith, despite whatever Will Smith does. So if you meet an alpha widow and you become a stepfather, she'll love the children of the alpha more than your children. Many men have come to me complaining, unapata watoto wako hawajakula vizuri, and so on. There are also cases where
still loving the other man that left to his children.
Yes, and she feels those children are more valuable than yours because she sees you as a better male. Your children, your seed is inferior. That other guy's seed is a proper stock. So that happens a lot.
Yeah.
There are also many cases, and now this is a majority, where, and the challenge is most women lie. These single mothers, they lie to you. You'll ask,
How do they lie?
I'll give you an example. So you ask her, so what happened to this guy? Then she'll tell you, this guy, I was pregnant, and when I told him I was pregnant, he aliruka. And he doesn't even know I have children. We just lost touch. I blocked him, and so on and so forth. So she tells you this guy is not in my life. And maybe the reality is they started a relationship. Then this guy maybe was a drunkard or he was broke. She decided to leave this guy. So now she branched out on her own. So you settle in with her knowing this guy is nowhere in the picture. 5-6 years later, if this guy was a drunkard, Amanda, he has cleaned himself up. He no longer drinks. He has a good job. Very well presentable. Yeah. He comes back. He tells the woman, me, I have no problem with that guy you have. I just want my kids. And the woman looks at him and says, by the way, this guy is even better than this Beta Mela who's playing stepfather. So she tells the guy, why don't we raise the kids together? And the guy says, if you're okay, I'm fine. So the stepfather will just be told, Bana, our toto baba yao amerudi. I think we should raise them as parents. Sasa wewe ujipange. Many men are in that situation and they get very depressed.
Really?
Yeah.
Ujipange means what?
See, now they were breaking up.
Really?
Yes.
After taking care of them for maybe 10 years?
Yes.
Years?
I even have an example of a distant uncle of mine. Actually, now that you've mentioned 10 years, this was actually 10 years.
Yeah.
So this guy, he met this woman, they settled. It was somewhere in Migori, actually. So this guy, this distant uncle of mine, he lived with this woman. They're living in town. They're raising kids. Everything is okay. After 10 years, this woman's husband comes back. Unfortunately for this uncle of mine, he is not like, he was not a very moneyed guy. They're struggling. They're living in some one-roomed house somewhere. He's earning like 15,000, 20,000. This guy comes. He has a big car. He's working for an NGO, earning more than 500,000. The appearance alone that he makes, this woman is wondering, who is this guy? He says, but then me atastaki mambo mingi, I just want my children. And he goes back home. And this guy is told, this woman needs to go back to the husband. And he says, no, this is my wife. And ultimately, this woman has some sense spoken to her. Naambiwa na watu wa kwao, we rudi kwa bwana. This guy alileta mahari, just be a honorable man. Watoto warudi kwa baba yao, na we urudi kwa bwanako. And she goes. This guy decides, no, my wife cannot go like that. He went to that village to fetch her. He was given a thorough beating. In fact, he ended up in a wheelchair. And of course, the woman left him. So there are many, many examples.
Is that why you say women can be very cold?
Yeah. That is true. The women can be very cold because of the practical decisions they make. But you see, it's not even me saying. By the way, it's not me saying. This thing is captured by a British. There's a British anthropologist. He's called Robert Brifault. He came up with what is called Brifault's law, and it's called a law because It is, you can replicate it, and it's as you know, observed again and again and again. And what he says is that women are the ones who decide whether the relationship between them or the association between them and a man, it either continues or stops. It's normally the woman that decides. And they also say, the law also says that anything a man does has diminishing returns. So it means anything you do for a woman today, it can be very exciting, very noble, and she will really be grateful. But a few days later, she has forgotten. You have to do something else. I think there's even a song by, I think, Janet Jackson. She sang a song saying...
The things that you're saying are the things that women say that you're very disrespectful to.
That's what I'm saying. It's just ignorance, eh? It's not me who is saying. I'm just telling you what has been said by authorities.
But they're saying that you're the one who is saying these things.
No, I'm quoting even my book. Look at references. I don't make things up. People are just ignorant. And I think they have not analyzed situations and relationships. But the work has been done by others. I'm just telling you this is what it is. Yeah.
Okay. There's something that you said here that's very interesting, that their love is there for their own survival. Women have loves are there for their own survival.
Yes. So you see, men love idealistically. Men look at love as an ideal. You see the way you can look at beautiful music or a piece of art. So even the idea of romance or love, for men, look at it as something very ideal, something that is like a work of art. It's for men, the idea of romantic love captures our imaginations. It does not do the same for women. For women, they love you for practical reasons. That's why women ask you, what do you bring to the table?
But men also ask women, what do you bring to the table?
But men often do that.
Yeah.
But they don't ask beautiful women that.
Oh, really?
Men don't ask beautiful women, what do you bring to the table? Because
the women, they really like
yeah,
love.
they don't care about what you bring. A woman is a beauty object. A woman is a beauty object. A woman is not a success.
That's not a good statement.
Yeah, so
That's
again,
not a good statement.
It's
Is
not
that a
me.
good statement?
It's not me who is saying. You know, people are just ignorant. People are just ignorant, eh? And it can be demonstrated.
They say that that statement is objectifying women.
Yeah, I know. But women like being objectified. That's the other thing that people need to understand. Yes.
Aliet.
You have hosted someone on your show, a woman, who said how she wants a man who can handle her and degrade and treat her like a guitar. You remember? I can give you so many examples. Look at, 50 Shades of Grey. That movie was one of the highest grossing movies. Because in that movie, there's a man who treats a woman like an object. Really? Yes, and this man basically was fulfilling the fantasies of traditionally conservative women. Women want a man who dominates them. You see, even Vampire Diaries. Vampire Diaries is very popular because it has these characters who they feed on women. Okay? They drink their blood and they dominate them. And that's what women want. I've actually written it there. We call it the dark triad personality.
Is that why women like watching a lot of serial killers?
Yes.
Stuff?
Yes. I even my dress, my choice. The reason women insist on dressing the way they want is because they want to advertise their sexuality. They don't want to cover up everything. They want you to see them as sex objects. You see, when you force women to cover up, then you're stopping them from being sex objects. That's why they insist, my dress, my choice. You don't control what I put on. So women enjoy being treated like sex objects. It's just that it's not politically correct to admit it. But when you want to control their sexuality, then they push back. It makes you realize they actually want to be seen as sex objects. And men who treat them as sex objects, these are the dark triad people. They are psychopaths, narcissists, and Machiavellian men. Those are the men who are most successful with women. And they're the men who women find most attractive.
Really?
Yes. They're the men who arouse desire in women. And you know, one of the things that our fathers did not tell us is there's a difference between being desirable and being attractive.
What is the difference?
Being an attractive man means you are a man who has money, you are a man who has resources, you are a man who can give a woman security. Okay? You can make her comfortable. You can give a creature comfort. That is being an attractive man. But being desirable is you are a man who can make her wet. She finds you physically attractive. You arouse lust in her. She wants to sleep with you. That's being desirable. Now, many men today, and that's what the school system has done, we are trained to get good jobs, to become nice men, to become, you go to church, you are a God-fearing man, you are a kind man. And women will tell you that. I want a man who is kind, a man who is God-fearing. Those are all attractive characteristics. They will not tell you about the desirable characteristics. That's why many men are raising children who are not theirs. Because you don't know what it means to be desirable. You only know how to be attractive. So she'll go and get the children of a man who is desirable and bring them to you to raise them. That is it.
Take your coffee. Really?
Yeah, so many men don't understand this.
So women go give birth or mate with desirable men.
Yes.
Then they bring them to the attractive man to take care of.
Exactly. So these attractive men...
There are many attractive men out there taking care of desirable men.
Now, remember, statistically, 30% of men fail paternity tests. And these are only the men who...
30%?
Yes, 30%.
Here in Kenya or globally?
Globally. Of course, Kenya, it's just starting. Paternity tests are only beginning, but you can see even... at one time, our president talked about it and say, wachana na hiyo maneno, mtoto ni mtoto. You see, in Tanzania, they debated it in parliament. And in most communities, people have agreed that fatherhood is sociological, it's not biological. Because when you go to the biological and start testing, doing a paternity test for every children, the society will be destroyed. Remember, and this is another statistic, out of every generation, including our generation, about 98% to 99% of women, they get to pass on their genes. It means they have children. But only 40% of men get to do that. This includes married men. There are several married men who have children, and not even one of them is theirs, even 6 children. Really? We've seen this in the cases of footballers, famous footballers. And I was telling you 30% of men fail paternity tests. Even nowadays, I think we have had cases in Kenya where there was a school that got burnt, and the fathers could not find their DNA among the ladies who could not be identified. Nowadays, it's standard practice. If you have a fire and you cannot recognize the bodies of the people who are dead, they take the DNA of the mother. Because the DNA of the father sometimes, most of the times, it brings very bad results. So you just take the DNA of the mother. So, women, and these are things women have always hidden because they're ashamed. Women are ashamed about their sexuality. So they cannot tell you about... You see, even the lady I told you about just now, that video, you had to take it down because people really attacked that woman. When women talk about their sexuality, they're ashamed. So it's concealed from the public. So many men don't really understand what makes them desirable. It's normally more noble to talk about the attraction cues. I want a God-fearing man. I want a nice man. I want a man who is kind. But women don't care about those things. They only care about those things when you are desirable to them. You must be attractive first.
So that is what you mean when you say women love bad boys?
Yes. Those are normally bad boys, the dark triad personalities.
What's a dark triad personality?
In psychology, dark triad personalities is those three. It's an intersection between those three: narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. So a narcissist, of course, is someone who has this grandiose personality. They only care about themselves. And a Machiavellian person is someone who uses others. For him, the end justifies the means, they're exploitative, and so on. A psychopath lacks empathy, and they can be very cruel. So when you have those people who have those kinds of characteristics, oftentimes in the society, they end up becoming leaders because they are very assertive, they are very dominant. They end up becoming, they are very driven to succeed. And because they are people who succeed by any means necessary. They will cheat, they will kill, they will swindle, they'll do everything. Most of them also end up becoming politicians or very successful businessmen. They're able to cut corners, they're able to get the best deals, and so on and so forth. So those are things that happen. But you see, the way we are taught in church, you need to be honest, you need to be kind, you need to have compassion, and so on. And you see, even this happens even in our communities. In the family, many families, you'll find the guy who is kind and who is compassionate. All the burden is given to them. Pay for my child's school fees, so and so is sick. And the other guy who is very selfish, who branches out and takes care of himself or his family, most of the times they end up being very rich. So people will talk about them the way they are selfish, but you'll also find that they are very comfortable in what they are doing. Yeah.
All right, people of the internet, I hope that you are enjoying this episode so far. I broke the episode just to tell you something that is very, very interesting. In 2024, a lot of people were saying that I am broke, Jagero. I do not have a job. But what is interesting is that when they were telling me this in 2024, I was already working on a book for the last 3 years. And that book was about the hustles and the jobs that you can get online. Now, what you need to know about me, Jagero, is that I have always traveling. I'm always doing this crazy, nice stuff. But I've never been employed since I left college. And I'm not saying that because I hate employment. I didn't get employment, you know. But I have always worked. I've always earned money. I have worked for Americans. I've worked for Europeans. I've worked for Kenyan. I've worked for anybody literally on the face of the earth. And these are jobs that I've always gotten online, on LinkedIn, on other ways. So I've been very busy. In 2024, I wrote a book called The Digital Goldmine, 18 side hustles that you can take advantage of online. And a lot of people bought that book. Almost sometimes even 500 people in a month buying that book. And people have been saying, are there more jobs? Yes, there are more jobs. So in 2024, they are no longer 18 side hustles, but they are 25 side hustles because I have added other books. So in 2025, you cannot say, Jagero, I don't have a job. Jagero, I am broke, because I have put it before you. The book is not expensive. It is 1,000 Kenya shillings. Or if you are asking about the price in other parts of the world, it is just $10. Okay? So in the description below, I have put the link that takes you to where you can learn more about the book. And I've also left a link where you can buy the book. So thank you very much. And let's go back to programming. Yeah, I've heard of people saying on the internet that a leader does not think that women can be good leaders. But you say it in your book, actually, that they are tyrannical.
Yeah.
They are not good leaders?
Yeah, so this is particularly at home.
Yeah.
At home. Although even at the workplace, talk to these women who have companies. Most of the time they prefer to have a male CEO than a female CEO. And it is also because...
You mean the workers would prefer?
No, the leaders at the workplace. Many people, including women, prefer to have their companies headed by men rather than by women. And I also have a chapter there that talks about women in the workplace, the way they bully other women and they give them a very bad work experience. Talk to any women, by the way, and this is a challenge because I've even interviewed several women about this. The worst bosses they had normally are female bosses. So, but the main focus is at the workplace, at the domestic front, where a man surrenders the reins of leadership to the wife. And the wife now makes the major decisions, where the kids will go to school, where you will live, which car you are going to drive, which places you should go to eat, where you go for holiday, and so on. Many women, when you allow them to make those decisions, they also now lose respect for you as a man because they feel that they are paired with a suboptimal man. They will make those decisions, but they will resent you for making them make those decisions. They'd rather be led. This has also been written in the reviews of Unplugged, where women say that...
but women have always said, I want a man that takes my voice into account.
They will say that, but they'll also tell you they want a man who takes charge. Majority will tell you they want a man who takes charge. Because the man who takes charge makes them feel secure. They want to be able to... They want a man who is confident in his ability to lead and make decisions.
Every time I talk to you, Aliet, I get this vibe that don't take a woman's word for it.
Absolutely. I can repeat that. Actually, what I normally say, women will always tell you, okay, maybe not always, but most of the times when it comes to intersexual dynamics, women will always tell you the opposite of what they want or what they are.
Really?
Exactly the same way they tell you, a woman will tell you, I dress for comfort, I dress to make myself feel good. But in reality, they're going to be dressing for the opposite sex. They will never admit it.
Women have always said that. In fact, they have always responded very aggressively when you talk about them putting, you calling them thirst traps.
Yes, they're called thirst traps, yes, on social media.
Because women have always maintained that we are not putting this up for the men. We should not take their word for it.
No, of course you can't take their word for it. You see, the thing is this, and I think this is why it's important to understand evolutionary psychology. All human beings engage in purposeful behavior. Every time a human being does something, there's a purpose for it. And all our behavior is also rooted in survival. And most of the time, survival is either provisioning or sex. Okay? So either, and for women, their imperative is to get the best man available. And most of the times, because women are beauty objects, I'm repeating it, it's about advertising their sexuality. You see, the cosmetic industry is supported by women. It's a $1 trillion industry. The makeups, the skin care, the fake hair, the fake eyelashes, fake nails. It's because women are trying to idealize themselves. They realize that if they look best, that's when they can get the best men. So it is true women are beauty objects. Beauty is very important for women. Yeah.
Do you think that we should not be looking at that statement negatively? We should appreciate it. Because women don't like this statement at all.
I think they're just being politically correct, and they're not honest, because even women agree with me. There have even people who say, the women who come to my inbox telling me, what you said today is true, but I can't agree with you because I'll be called a pick me and so on and so forth. And then you see, listen, I'm an IT professional.
Yeah.
I'm not an authority in this field. What I do is I tell you what authorities are saying. I tell you what evolutionary psychologists are saying. Like the idea of women being beauty objects and men being success objects. A research was done that was demonstrated exactly that. Women are normally picked based on their beauty. The sexual marketplace, and even there's something called pretty privilege. Have you heard of pretty privilege?
I've heard of it.
There is no handsome privilege.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I think there are lots of women right now that are looking for handsome men.
Yes, but women will always look, of course, for handsome men. But as a man or as a boy growing up, you're not going to get any privileges because you're a good-looking boy. You can get women, but for example, the way you're being treated compared with other boys is not going to be better. But when a girl is pretty, she's given different treatment, both by the parents, by the teachers, and by the society in general. That's why it's called pretty privilege. Even in terms of how they are judged when they fail and so on, they're treated differently. It's because women are beauty objects. Okay? Men are normally judged by the success that they can obtain.
You keep saying beauty object. Do you mean a sex object?
No. But of course, beauty.
What is the difference?
Beauty always leads to sex.
What is the difference?
What the difference is this. When you look at beauty, beauty also looks at fertility.
Yeah. So
it's tied to age. It's tied to age. It's not just looks. There is age and there's also physical looks. Of course, beauty is there's the quality of your skin, your hair, symmetry, the hip to waist ratio, and so on. When you're looking at a woman, those are the beauty markers. Okay. Yeah, so that is what we are normally looking at. That's why in the sexual marketplace, a younger woman will always beat an older woman in the sexual marketplace. But when you look at the sexual marketplace, a younger man will not going to beat an older man. Okay? If you put me in the sexual marketplace now with a 23-year-old, I'm going to beat the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but put a 23-year-old woman with a 45-year-old woman, the 23-year-old will win. Hands down.
Matheka said the pussy of a 40-year-old is better than a 23, by the way.
I saw that. One time we need to have a discussion, because there is no product, as Kevin Samuel says, that grows better with age. Okay? Matheka is basically trying to tell us that the female is one that is an anomaly in that. Okay? Because you see, gravity is going to come in. Even in terms of her system, the vaginal fluids and everything, it's going to break down. So you're not going to find the viscous insides of a 23-year-old to be the same as a 40-year-old. most of the time, this 40-year-old, they need lubrication and so on. A 23-year-old does not need any lubrication. So you cannot tell us, even what we call structural integrity of that of a 40-year-old is not the same as a 23-year-old. This thing is worn out.
Hey.
Yes. And even in terms of the mind of this 40-year-old, many times calming it down, bringing it, making it present is a process. A 23-year-old is in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a very, very big difference. And and I understand him because I think part of the demographic of his clientele are the 40-year-old women who have money and who have challenges with the things he's addressing. You see, it's the same thing as me, by the way. My unplugged books, women in their 20s don't care about it and they don't even have issues because they are their prime. The women who will be complaining to you are women in their 30s and 40s because they are the ones who have to rely on the ignorance of men to be able to play the games. So when I enlighten men, the men are able to see them and it puts them at a disadvantage. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Women struggle with the truth.
Yeah, women struggle with the truth. A bit of it, I think, is because they are more emotional. They are tuned to emotion compared to logic. You see, for example, if you tell a woman that being fat, it predisposes you to cardiovascular disease, and this can be proved through statistics. They'll tell you body positivity and so on. You'll not find a man talking about body positivity. You tell this guy you are fat, he'll go to the gym, he'll diet. But a woman will tell you, no, you are body shaming me and so on. So they prefer to feel good rather than face the truth. And many times it's to their detriment. That is why these women also we have a lot of single mothers. Because it feels good to sleep with some of these fellows who are dark triad, but those guys also abandon their offspring.
They do?
Yeah, they do.
They are on to the next thing.
Yes. But women, because it feels good, those guys are desirable, they'll sleep with them. And they love their children. Then they'll come and tell you, oh, he was abusive, he was a drunkard. Now he'll come to you as a beta male to raise the child.
Do you have an answer why we have so many single women today in the society? Do you have an answer to it?
Of course. What do you mean by an answer? A solution or an explanation?
An explanation.
Yeah, so the reasons are many. One of them is that as women are getting more empowered, the voices of men are becoming dimmed. Okay, so what it means is that, in the past, when a woman met a man she wanted to marry, she will take the man to the father for his blessing or his approval. The father, most times, many fathers are able to look at a young man and know that you cannot be a good fit for my daughter. You are irresponsible, you don't have a job, and I can see that you're not able to conduct yourself properly. So in the absence of that, many women now, either they take to their mothers or they just start having children with these men. So they end up having a pairing with the wrong man. Okay? So by the time they have a child, they realize this guy is irresponsible. They become a single mother. So that is one. Secondly, because patriarchy ended, patriarchy used to force men, if you make a woman pregnant, you take responsibility. Now there is no patriarchy. Everyone does what they want. Women get pregnant.
No patriarchy?
Yeah, there is no patriarchy in place. So women do what they want, young men do what they want. Okay? Then the other one is that nowadays feminism has ennobled single motherhood. You see, Beyonce sang this song, Single Ladies. So many women, the young women now grow up thinking when you are single, and many times, like in the black culture, single is also attached with independent. So single and independent. Independent means you don't need a man. So many women think that if you have your money and you have your career, you don't need a man. You can raise a child alone. So it's a culture. In the past, it was a stigma where you have a child. Actually, they were called bastards, a child outside of marriage. Nowadays, even that word is not used anymore because women were shamed. Nowadays, there's no shaming. In fact, when you're a single woman, you're treated as a strong woman. So this is also increasing this culture of single motherhood. Okay? You'll find that there are many initiatives for single mothers, and women are also given a lot of opportunities in the workplace. So all these things have multiplied, have contributed to increasing this trend of single mothers.
Let's talk about feminism. What is your opinion about it?
Feminism, I think it served whatever it meant to serve, but now it's just harmful. You know, when feminism started, women are not allowed to vote, they're not allowed to own property, they are not even allowed to work because it started in the West where women were staying at home. So women were given all these rights, and then once they started working, they realized they cannot compete with men. Men are more driven than them, men can work long hours, men don't need maternity leave, and so on. So they realized men are outcompeting them. So they came up with affirmative action, where now affirmative action gives you not equal opportunity, but equal outcome. That's why we have women reps and so on and so forth in the political sphere. And we have what we call gender parity in the workplaces. If we hire 6 men, hire 6 women, and so on. So when you look at the competence, you look at the gender. So that happened. And now we have gender parity and so on and so forth. Then now, feminism now having exhausted what they were fighting for, because now we have hundreds of presidents now who are female. We have women who are CEOs, who are leading businesses and so on. Now feminists now went ahead, now said, we don't just have equal rights. We are actually equal. A man and a woman are equal. And that's where LGBTQ comes in. Because they're saying, this thing between your legs, it is just a small organ. That does not make you a man. A man or your gender, it depends on who you think you are. If you think you are a man, you are a man. If you think you are a woman, you are a woman. And now that opens the door now. Because I think we've had Donald Trump says now, you can only be assigned your gender at birth. Okay? Because when a child is born, you can tell whether it's a boy or a girl. As opposed to this movement was now saying there's gender at birth and then gender when you decide what you are later. So now it's going back to that. So feminism now brought that idea that we are equal and gender is a social construct. That a child, whether it's a boy or a girl, is a product of social engineering. So now it now went beyond what it was started for. So I think at this point, feminism is superfluous. It's actually more harmful than good. Yeah, because women have achieved everything that feminism set up to achieve.
Yeah, you talk extensively about damaged women and women as dream killers. You talk about why men, date or have relationships with damaged women. First of all, what's a damaged woman?
A damaged woman is a woman who is laboring under the weight of trauma. Many of the times, this trauma is not immediately apparent. Sometimes you have to interact with her or get into a relationship with her, and you'll see it coming out in terms of how she deals with disappointment, fits of rage. You can see it in terms of how she entertains men. You know, a woman who wants to have many men around her, several boyfriends. You can see it in terms of how the kind of things she posts on social media, a lot of drama, okay? Like maybe if she's sick, she has to post a photo of herself in hospital, getting sympathy. Maybe it was just she went to donate blood. She has to post that. Anything small, she's on social media looking for attention, okay? She's posting thirst traps on social media. And she can be shouting at waiters, and junior people like watchmen, getting into a fight with watchmen. And these people who are the subaltern people in the society. There are women who also have a reputation of a lot of being involved in dramatic, maybe breakups and so on. Those are damaged women. So many men get involved with them because when you get close to them, there are men who think that these women, they're only like that because maybe they were not loved. So some men think if I just love her, if I just show her how much I love her, she's going to be loyal to me. Or she's going to stop being angry. She's going to stop threatening to commit suicide and so on. So many men have that cult of love thing. They think that if they love a woman, the damage will go away. And a bit of it also is because of scarcity. Many men don't have options. So when they meet this damaged woman, probably that's the only woman that he's accessing. So he wants to just invest himself in her, even though he's damaged, because he doesn't have any other options. Yeah.
You talk about, but then do do you think men should invest in these women? Because at the end of the day, they are our sisters, they are our mothers, they are our, you know.
Yeah, so when you find a damaged woman, this is a woman who needs therapy. And it is not your job as a man to be a rehabilitation center for such a woman. I normally tell guys the example of if you find a dog that is in the street and it is biting people or biting other dogs, and then you start thinking, I can take this dog home. Maybe this dog has gone through a lot, and if I just show it kindness, it's going to calm down. This dog is going to bite you. And the same thing happens with damaged women. What we tell guys, leave them alone. Let her look for therapy because she's going to come and wreck your life. And that's what they often do.
Really?
Yeah, she just come because she's already damaged. That's what it means. It means even if you love her, she has insecurities. She'll start thinking, this guy, why does he love me so much? There is something that he's hiding, things like that. Or maybe he's trying to take advantage of me. She doesn't know what it feels like to be loved. So if you love her, she feels that you're an anomaly. There's something wrong with you, okay? Or she will feel you're loving her, but this love is not going to last for long. So she starts entertaining other men. You find she's cheating on you, but she's cheating on you because she's insecure. She thinks you're going to leave her. So she wants to make sure she also has other men, so that when you leave her, she's not left alone. So those are the kind of behavior patterns you get with damaged women. Or she's going to lash out at you because she has some unresolved anger or trauma in her. And she now is going to unleash all that rage on you because it has not been properly addressed in a healthy way. So all those kinds of behaviors now, you're going to find them when you deal with damaged women.
Yes. What are some of the signs of a damaged woman when you meet them as a man?
Most of the times it's very concealed. You can't see it. So sometimes you need to test. For example, you tell her we are meeting. Let's meet at Java on Saturday at 10.
Yes.
Okay? Then don't go at 10. Go at 10:30 or at 11.
Aha.
Yeah, just be late. See how she deals with that. Okay? Yes. Or cancel it last minute. Tell her something has come up. I don't think I'm going to make it. So we just need to reschedule this. See how she deals with that. She can fly into rage, call you the F word, what, and then you realize this is a crazy person.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can test them. You'll see how she deals with, when you're in a date with her, you see how she deals with waiters. Okay? Many times, is she polite? Does she fly into rage? Many times when you go out, the waiter, for example, can delay your order, or they can bring the wrong food. Okay? She orders for cafe latte, he brings cappuccino. How does she deal with that? Or he just delays, or he does something that she doesn't like. Or even on phone, how does she pick her calls? What kind of things does she talk about? Is she gossiping? Is she insulting someone on the phone and so on? So many men, what happens is when they are dating a woman and she's busy insulting someone else on the phone, wewe ni umbo ni mjinga sana, he thinks that is how she's treating other people. She won't treat me the same way. But she'll treat you the same way. So those are things you can pick. You can pick even how she's dressed. If her breasts are falling out, she's showing so much flesh and thigh, this one is a damaged woman. Because she's looking for the wrong kind of attention. So it should be someone who is showing modesty, someone who is prudent. And even the kind of things that she wants from you, are they things that are reasonable and so on. Things like love bombing. Okay, if she's love bombing you, that also shows you that there's a problem. Okay, you meet the first time, she wants to buy you gifts, you hardly know each other, She's telling you are the love of my life, you don't even know her very well. So that shows you there is a problem there. Yeah.
Let's talk about women are like children. You said that to the and women were very offended. But before we talk about lust, let's talk about the Jezebel spirit in a woman.
The Jezebel spirit, eh?
Yeah.
This I think the Jezebel, of course, is the queen of King Ahab in the Bible, and the story of King Ahab. He was a weak king. Maybe he wasn't weak, but he was compassionate. And there was a time that they wanted someone's vineyard. What was his name? I've forgotten his name. And the king asked this guy for his vineyard, but the guy said, no, this is all I have, And he went and told his wife, Bana, that guy, he can't give us that vineyard. He said, but you're the king. And I think she plotted for that guy to be killed and faked some documents, and they took the vineyard. So the Jezebel spirit is, it's a mixture of two things. It's Machiavellian and narcissism, where a woman has no empathy. She's very conniving and manipulative. And oftentimes, many women are like this. Many women are like this, manipulative. You'll see that in many families, you'll find brothers who are very close to each other. And I think today someone gave an example on the internet, which I'll refer to. Many brothers can be very close growing up, even into adulthood, but once they get married, you find them drifting apart. Most of the times it's because of their wives. Because you'll find maybe you're having a Christmas get-together every year. The day you are meeting, then your wife tells you, you guys, why are you always listening to so-and-so? Why can't you also decide this and that? This guy is always controlling you guys. And you start to realize, by the way, she's right. This brother of mine has been the one who is setting the agenda, So if something that was running very smoothly now stops. There was a story someone posted today on the internet where a grandfather started a business with the grandsons. And this business was successful. And when he was asked why it was successful, he said there were two rules that he gave to these grandchildren. Don't tell your wives about this business. And also, anyone who tells the wife is charged a fine of 50,000 shillings. If they hear anything about the wife inquiring or saying, you'll be charged. Because what they learned is that if you have a situation where you have this business as a family and you have your wives, you'll find a situation where, like if it's a retail shop, if someone's wife has gone to the shop, like they were giving an example, she goes to the shop, at the end of the day, she goes home with one bread. Then another wife of a brother learns that the other wife took one bread, she'll go and take two breads. Now they're competing, okay? Then it brings a lot of friction. So that is one of the challenges you have when you bring women now into businesses like that, okay? And in many cases, if you look at relationships, like 90% or even more, tell a man, any man who is married, this is you, this is your wife, okay? These are your in-laws, these are our in-laws. Which in-laws have benefited the most from this marriage? It's normally her relatives. The men's relatives hardly get any benefit. But you'll find most men, you're shopping for her mother, you're maybe helping with the school fees, you're doing all sorts of things, but on your side, there's nothing that is coming in. That's the majority of marriages. And it's normally because of this conniving and manipulative spirit that women generally have.
Is that why you say that women should be treated as children?
No.
Because I see that where you are not telling the women what is going on.
Yeah, but that's not the reason. Women want to be treated like children.
They want to be treated like children?
Yes. You've heard of women in the internet talking about they want what we call baby girl treatment.
Yeah.
Baby girl treatment is being treated like a child. It means you are being pampered. You're not being held to be responsible. You don't have to wake up early. You're just sleeping and being fed and enjoying luxury. That's being treated like a child. A child has no responsibilities. So women actually want to be treated like children. At the same time, also women don't want to be held accountable. That's also being treated like a child.
What do you mean by women do not want to be held accountable?
Whenever women are at fault, they don't want to take responsibility. They will say, okay, I won't give a local example, but we have examples where when a woman is facing challenges, maybe at the workplace, they'll say it's
Why
because...
don't you just use the local example that is in your head? You are afraid? You're a coward?
There's a local example of a lady who is leading the judiciary, who was saying that the reason she's having challenges was because she's a woman. Okay? But when you look at it objectively...
The one that was saying that she's being bullied online.
Yes, the one who was being said... You see, she's not able to just look at the things like... People are talking about how many cases are being handled, are the judges available, because we have cases of a judge was supposed to be in court, but she was busy being given in an interview at the television station. But we have people who have shown up in court. The schedule shows she should be at the bench. She's not there. He's not there, he's somewhere else. The number of cases being handled, the delays in court and so on. Those are the things people are complaining about. The bribery, corruption, and so on. But you know her, she feels it's because she's female.
Yeah, that is why people are saying all these things about them.
Yeah, so there's that. But it also continues because even in relationships, and there was a recent podcast I was on where there's a lady who was saying that when I was actually talking about damaged women. And this woman was saying, when your woman is damaged, maybe her husband is mistreating her or she's been undergone some trauma, the men around her life. And then we asked her, what about if there's no trauma? Then she said, maybe her father, the way the father raised her. You see, so in all cases where a woman is out of order, she will want to blame a man, either the husband or the father or the boyfriend. But she's not just going to sit and say, by the way, that is my fault. And that's the same reason why you find a woman who is fat doesn't want to be called fat.
Yeah.
She said that is body shaming. She just can't take just take the opportunity and say, by the way, I think I eat too much pizza. I need to reduce the chocolate that I'm eating, and I need to eat better. They don't
But
say
she wants to be loved.
Yeah, she wants to be loved, and she also doesn't want a broke man. Okay, so she wants her standards to be respected, but she doesn't want you to have standards in terms of her body, in terms of her behavior. That's why they don't want to discuss notch counts. They don't want to discuss their weight.
What count?
Notch count.
What's
Notch
a
count,
notch
the
count?
number of sexual partners she has had.
Body count.
Yes, body count. They don't want to discuss that. But they want to discuss your brokenness as a man. Whether you have money, how tall you are, okay? They also want to discuss, do you have a six-pack? But don't mention a six-pack. That is body shaming. So she wants everything, but she doesn't want to be held accountable in any way. Yeah. So that is actually asking to be treated like a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There are questions from the internet. People ask when I'm having a guest, I get questions. Zako ni mingi.
Ah, that's okay. I'm here.
Zako ni mingi sana. They are what? They are edited for so that you understand them well. So number one, I hope this cap is being seen for my sponsor.
Inaonekana? Okay.
Yeah. Number one, should men go 50-50 on bills, or is it a sign of weakness if they can't provide fully?
No, I don't think you should go 50-50 on bills. If you're going 50-50 on bills as a man, you're already paired with the wrong woman. That woman is above your age class. And
It's above you.
yeah, you shouldn't be with her. Because you see, women want men who are better than them. Remember, talk to any woman. They'll tell you, I want a man who is 6 foot tall. 6 foot is just a standard in quotes. Of course, very few men are 6 foot tall. But they want men who are taller than them. All women, at least 99% of women want men who are taller than them. They want you, of course, to be stronger than them. They want to be more educated than them, more intelligent than them, more accomplished than them. That means she wants a leader. She doesn't want her equal. So women don't want their equal. If you're splitting 50-50, it means you are equal. That means that woman is not going to be happy.
And she's going to leave you eventually.
She may not leave, but she'll be frustrated. Maybe you'll raise children who are not yours. Because they have various ways of punishing beta males.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Many women do that. They can be very vindictive.
Beta males?
Yes.
Beta males are the broke ones?
Yeah, beta male, you may not be broke, but you don't have the characteristics of an alpha. She sees you as a not the best option for her. So she could be paired with you for various reasons. Maybe you used to be an alpha, but now you've become lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've lost your standing.
Yeah, you've lost your standing.
Yeah. Another guy is asking, in 2025, is marriage still a necessity for me?
A guy is asking.
Yeah.
No.
Do I really need to marry?
You don't need to marry.
What is the underlying question here that the guy is really asking for? Is
Okay.
asking? Could he be asking a different question from what we are reading?
It's possible. But, marriage is a contract. Marriage is a contract. As a contract, it is really not necessary. It's not good for men. What you can have is long-term relationships, and you can have children with women who are willing to have children with you. Have an arrangement of how you're going to raise those children and how you're going to share your resources and the values you people have without involving the government. Yeah.
I feel like women are so entitled in modern
there are of course women who are entitled. Okay? The same way you have women who are gold diggers, we have women who are exploiters, we have women who are loose and so on. That is okay. The important thing is, if you have a problem with the entitled women, don't date them. Because they'll always be the same way. You have men who are violent, you have men who are lazy, you have men who are broke. Don't complain about them, just don't date them. Yeah.
My woman wants me to cook and embrace traditional gender roles. Do you agree, or these are outdated going into 2025?
Any woman who wants you to cook does not respect you. She sees you as a beta male. Yeah.
Cook, clean.
Yeah. She sees you as a beta male, or she's testing you. That's called a shit test.
A shit test.
Yeah, she wants to check, do I have an alpha or a beta? If you fail the test, you become a beta male.
I saw a picture of a woman talking so much about how a man that was cooking for her.
Yeah, that's a beta male. And women also want beta males, but they want you for a different purpose than the alphas. That's why I'm telling you, so many men fail paternity tests, because many of them are beta males. Yeah.
If a woman earns more than me, does that automatically change the power dynamics in a relationship?
Yes.
You want more coffee?
No. The answer is yes.
How so?
Because now she's the one who wields the power in terms of how do you spend your money. She's the one who is now the provider, in a sense. She's taken over your role as a provider. Because women are supposed to bring their beauty to the relationship, and the man is supposed to bring resources and leadership.
Yeah.
So if now she has more resources than you, then you have failed as a man. The important thing is, how do you deal with that? Because some men deal with it by becoming violent, and so on and so forth. As a man, you just need to realize what has happened, have situational awareness, and you need to have ways of dealing with that so that it does not become a permanent feature in your relationship or in your marriage. Yeah.
My woman is always telling me to express vulnerability. Vulnerability, cry, and
Don't do it. That's a very bad idea.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't appear vulnerable in front of a woman.
It just lowers your attraction.
Don't cry.
Don't cry. You can cry, but people normally don't understand this. It's okay for a man to cry. Just don't cry in front of your woman.
Really?
Yeah, don't do it. There are cases, like extreme cases, where someone has died in the family. You can cry, but don't cry like you've been fired. You've lost your job, or the business has failed, or you're frustrated. Don't do such a thing.
Really?
That is very wrong. Yeah, don't do that. Don't also express your frustrations, maybe in the workplace. Tell your boss disrespected you, or you don't like your job, and so on. Deal with that. Don't burden your woman with that. Because a woman wants to know that she has a competent man. She has a man who knows how to solve his problems. And is a man who is not stuck or stagnated. So don't do it. The women will tell you that, but remember what I told you. The things women tell you and the things they want are not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why as a man you need to, a leader listens to himself. You see, like when you're driving a vehicle or a matatu, you don't ask passengers, when they hivi, they'll say, this driver in a gani. He doesn't know where we are going. You see, a woman wants to know that the guy who is leading her knows where you're going. Yeah, so when you start expressing your confusion and frustrations, she loses confidence in you. Yeah.
I'm struggling between being a gentleman and simping. Yeah. What is the difference?
Okay. A gentleman respects himself, and he also respects other people. That's who a gentleman is. A simp only respects women.
Really?
Yes. So, there are many reasons why men simp. Some people simp because they're dick-driven. They just want that pussy and the country is losing it. There are men who simp because they don't have options. They have no optionality. They can't get any other woman, so they're operating from scarcity. There are men who simp because of one-itis. Okay? They think this is the only woman that they ever have, and so on. So because of that, they can tolerate disrespect, bad behavior, and they pedestalize women. So that's the difference between simping and being a gentleman.
Do you believe that nice guys will still finish last?
Always.
The nice guy is the simp.
Pardon?
The nice guy is the simp.
No. You can be a nice guy without being a simp. A simp is worse than a nice guy. A nice guy is just someone who is not disagreeable. He doesn't like conflict. He likes saying yes, yes, yes. But a simp goes further. Pedestalizes a woman. He's very needy. He's very necessitous. He has no options and so on.
Are men judged too harshly for avoiding relationships, or is that a sign of emotional immaturity?
Are men judged by who? By society?
Yeah, I think.
I think women are actually judged more harshly compared to men for avoiding relationships. Because, as I said earlier, women are beauty objects. They have menopause. Men don't have a pause. Men start producing sperms at puberty, and they produce it until they die. Many men, like Charles Njonjo, married in his 50s, and he saw his grandchildren. A woman who marries in her 50s will never have children unless she adopts. Yeah.
Or unless she froze her eggs.
Yeah, which is also not working very well for them.
It's not?
Yeah, it is not.
They're stealing the eggs, or the eggs are dying?
Many women who've frozen their eggs, I've seen so many of them expressing frustration when they do the IVF. It's actually not bringing forth the fetuses that they expect. So, I think it may be a technology that is still being refined.
Yeah. I love your book. I've read your books, and I really love them. But I've got one question. You seem to be telling me to prioritize wealth before dating.
Yeah, of course. Men need to prioritize their wealth before they date, because when you do that, in the process of building wealth, you also build confidence, because you establish trust with yourself. You know what you're capable of, and you also build a masculine frame. And a masculine frame here means you sort of have a kingdom. You have your resources, you have your house, you have a name, you probably have status in the society. People recognize you, people know who you are. So when you get a woman at that point, then the woman can fit into your frame, and she'll feel more secure being in that particular relationship. You'll be able to take care of her and the children that you will have. So it's very important, because the love of women is consumptive. Women come to consume. Okay? That's why you have so many guys, when they're abandoned, and this is a broke man telling the woman, why are you leaving me? I love you. The woman asks you love yako mtoto atakula. Okay? Because remember, I told you women are survivors. They need to they prioritize their survival imperatives. So if you cannot enhance her survival, she's not going to find you very useful. And that's why it's important to prioritize that wealth. Otherwise, you end up being in a very frustrating relationship with a woman.
Yeah. This is an interesting question. Mwambia Bwana Aliet, congratulations on the beautiful books that he has written. I feel like a lot of podcast interviewers are not taking advantage of other parts or other areas of life in Aliet. Does he only know about women and men, or are there other issues that he can talk about, politics and etc.?
I love that question, by the way. Is that asked by a man or a woman? We don't
know.
That's why I'm writing Unplugged 4, Religion. And many people have told me not to write the book, because they are telling me that I should stick to issues of masculinity. People have the tendency to pigeonhole others. You see, when you do something, then they think that's what you should do and that's what you are good at. But there's a French philosopher, Jean-Paul Sartre, who talked about something called mauvais foi, bad faith. He spoke about a waiter who he was in a restaurant one day, and he looked at a waiter in a uniform serving people, and he said that this waiter thinks that he's a waiter, but he's only a waiter because he's decided to be a waiter. He can be so many other things. He can be a surgeon and so on. So even for me, I've actually spent more time reading science, archaeology, textual criticism, and history, compared to how much time I've spent on intersexual dynamics. In fact, I think my contribution in Unplugged 4 will leave a lasting legacy for me compared to what I've done so far. So absolutely, it's coming. And like I told you, it's the first book that I know of that is going to combine science and religion. Most books of science are only about science. Most books about religion are only about religion. But I'll bring the two together to basically give a holistic picture of who we are. How did we come to be here? How did we end up here? And it will answer several questions. I was telling someone yesterday, I'm writing that book for my 24-year-old version when I left university. I had so many questions that I could not get answers for. Now I want to answer those questions in Unplugged 4.
Yeah. I want to listen to Aliet on a long, long drive to the coast. This guy doesn't have audio?
Yeah. Does he mean a podcast? Because
audio. I think audio of your book.
It means audible. Yeah. So that we are working on that. I have that one in the pipeline.
I think I can help you with that.
Oh, okay. So we can discuss it then.
We can discuss it. The last question, which is really long, I would like to ask Aliet about the issue of femicide in Kenya, and I've got 3 questions. Number 1, do you believe that what we are having in the country is femicide, or we should just talk about homicide?
It's just homicide. It's not femicide. You see, the problem is in all cases, now, before, in future, the men who are killed by men are always more than the women that men are killing. Okay? And women are also killing men. There are very many cases of women who are killing men. But we don't call it andricide or androcide. Okay? It's just murder, it is manslaughter, whatever it is. So I think that is just part of victimhood of women, where they want to make everything about them. But when people commit homicide, it's not because it's a woman. They're not killed because they are women. They're just killed for various reasons depending on the context. There's no one who wakes up in the morning and says, today I'm going to kill a woman. Then he picks a random woman and kills her. No. That is now what will be femicide, when you're being killed because you are a woman. Most of the times it's just disputes gone wrong, where someone is exercising poor judgment, or something that starts as a physical altercation ends up in a homicide. Sometimes they are planned, sometimes they are not planned, and so on and so forth. We have the guy who was put in a septic tank. Very public. Very many men have been killed by women, but we don't call them androcide. They're just murders, and they should be treated as such. So they're homicides.
Do you think that in the case of these femicides, there are things that women can be blamed for?
I don't know what blaming means, but I don't think you can
I think what it means is that, for example, a woman and a man goes to the coast, the man pays the flight, pays everything, they go to the coast into a hotel, and the woman refuses to have sex with her.
Oh, yes. Those ones are there. And I think we had the case that I've written in Unplugged 1, the case of Shafiweru and DJ Mfalme, because there was that case of this woman who she chewed the guy's money when he wanted to have sex. She refused. She jumped off the window and she broke her leg. And Kina Shafiweru were telling women, don't entertain strangers. And they were fired for that. Yeah. So those cases are there. I know of cases where women escalate violence intentionally, like in clubs. You see, you can find 2 women starting to just squabble and quarrel among themselves. Men normally try to avoid violence because they know violence can end in death and so on. But women feel that when they have men around them, those are like bodyguards and they don't care. So they start fights, not knowing that fights can end up in homicide. So that I've seen that happening a lot, where many men are drawn into fights that someone ends up dead just because women were instigating it. So many times women don't understand the danger of violence, and so they don't avoid it as much as men do. In cases where you find where men are involved, for example, you won't find men insulting each other in a very careless manner, like when in Mjinga and so on, because men realize that when you do that, it can end up in violence. And that violence, once it starts, you don't know how it will end up. But women do that all the time. You'll find them just beginning a fight for nothing. And then now their men jump in to defend them, and it escalates. So I can say that happens sometimes. Sometimes A lot of we have cases where we had the case in let me not mention the hotel, but the hotel is in Mombasa Road, where some men were being blamed for starting a war, a fight in a hotel.
Yeah.
And this happened until a CCTV footage was pulled out. And you could see the men were very calm. It was women who were fighting until they dragged the men into that particular fight. And now cars were smashed and some women were beaten and so on. So there are cases where women instigate some of these episodes. Yeah.
The last question, the same guy. I don't know whether it's a woman. Gosh, I don't know. I think it sounds like a man. As somebody who speaks to men directly, what do you say about men who get violent with women?
I think it's something that all men should avoid. Don't get violent with a woman. Mainly because you are stronger than her.
Yeah.
And also because you are stronger than her, and when you're in a fit of rage, many times you're not able to measure maybe your blows and so on. You can end up killing her. Many men, that's why they talk about seeing red. You can see red. By the time now red disappears, someone is dead. So it is very, very dangerous, and it's something that should be avoided. Women are very emotional, and sometimes they don't appreciate the kind of danger they put themselves in by drawing a man into a violent altercation. So for men, don't deal with women who you find them triggering you, or women who you find they want to draw you into violence, because it's not good for you and it's not good for her. Okay? You end up in jail, she ends up in the mortuary. It's not good for anyone. So it's just something that should be avoided at all costs.
Mr. Jacob Aliet is an author, a thinker, and he sells these books. And I would, my podcast is about give me, I give you. So I would like you to tell the people where they get this book. I really, really love this one for some reason. The red version of it.
Okay.
Why did you decide that this is red and the other one is blue or whatever?
Mainly was to distinguish them. It was supposed to be purple, but
this is not purple.
no, that is maroon. That is maroon. Yeah, that's maroon.
Uh-huh.
It was supposed to be purple, but then we decided on the red with
I really love it.
Yeah, with my cover designer. So I'm going to leave you that copy.
Thank you very
so
much.
that you can also have a read. So the books are available at Nuria Bookstore. Nuria Bookstore is in Bazaar Building, first floor. But those who cannot access it, also it's in Textbook Center stores worldwide. There's Kisumu, and I think it's mainly Kisumu and Nairobi. Nairobi, we have several Textbook Center stores. There are almost 10, so they can access them from those places.
Okay.
Those who are outside Kenya, all those books are available in Amazon. Just look for Jacob Aliet and you'll be able to access them. Yeah.
Okay. And you're bringing us the audio.
Yes, I'm going to be working on the audio, which will be coming out soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great. And what are you working on now that you're bringing us in 2025?
Yeah, so I've been working on Unplugged 4. On Unplugged 4, the subject is going to be religion. Initially, I thought of dealing with religion the way Rollo Tomasi has dealt with it, and where he was looking at religion, the contribution of religion towards making men weak. Because we normally say religion is the biggest symposium we have in the world. Symposium from the word simp. But I've decided to look at it more from a scientific perspective. Like, why are we religious? One thing that has been established is that if you eradicated all religions in the world today, and you came back 50, 100 years later, you'll find people have other religions. There are many reasons why we tend to be religious, but I'm going to be looking at why do we believe the things we believe as far as religion, as far as God. I'm going to look at why do we believe, what is the evidence for the Big Bang? How old is the universe? How old is the earth? When did human beings show up on this planet? And why do we believe that?
Yeah.
We're going to look at, the Son of God, Jesus. Where was he born? Was he really born? Did he exist? Did he resurrect?
Really?
Yes, I'm going to look at all those questions. And what I do is, and I always tell guys, it's not about what I say. I'll just tell you what the experts are saying and what the evidence is saying. So many people don't know what the evidence is. Many people, for example, believe that the oldest book in the earth maybe is the Bible or the book of Genesis and so on. They don't know so many things in the Bible. For example, the book of Genesis starts by saying, let us make man in our own image. When you ask people, what does we mean? What does we mean when we say let us make man? What does us mean? Who is being referred to? Many people believe it's God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. They don't know that the Trinity is something that was formed centuries later. At the time Genesis was being written, in the what we call the post-exilic period, there was no Holy Spirit, there was no Jesus at the time. So people need to understand how to read the Bible based on the historical context and what was existing at that time, and then bring them up to the present era, so that people can understand religion. Because even before the Bible, there were other religions.
Yeah.
What was sustaining them? Why did people believe the things that they believed? So that's what we are going to be looking at.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you very much, people of the internet. This episode is sponsored by. You should start using the Aliet by Titan Impex. Is an import company that imports stuff from America to Kenya. If you want a TV that is being sold here for 600,000, they can bring it to you for 200,000 from Amazon. If you want a camera, you're podcasting, they can bring you podcasting equipment.
Okay.
If you have things in America that you want brought here because you've been living in America, but you want them to be used here, they can bring them for you. They can bring them by air. They can bring them by sea. So until another episode, bye for now.